Hey, 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 yeah.
Hello and welcome back. It's PegLegCraig, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. There's a lot going on in the world, and a lot of people are covering, what's going on with the ICE protests in Chicago and Portland, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But I want to talk about something that not enough people are talking about right now, and it's the recent amount of missing children in Virginia. I count 60, in fact, in the last month. So I'm going to run through a list of them from uh, the uh, the Missing and Exploited Children database web page, and I want to show you how much of a problem this is, but I also want to give the policeman's reaction, which I do hope that my producer has that link because I don't. I gave it to her yesterday. Um, but anyway, right now we have a crisis going on. Oh, okay, she does have that. All right, well, let me do this first then while it's up, since it's up. Yeah. Now, my contention is that there are 60 kids missing. Now, I do understand, and I want to preface this first. The vast majority of them are, shall we say, consensually missing, meaning that they ran away, they've taken up drugs, or done something else. There are also situations between family members, which account for some of these children. But I don't think that you can account for 60 in 1 month with that all alone. So I want to be fair about this because actually the man makes some good points here. But this is the Virginia State Police address viral social media videos regarding missing children in the Commonwealth. Richmond. Virginia State Police is aware of multiple media posts raising concerns about missing children across the Commonwealth of Virginia. Virginia State Police is not investigating any reports of mass abductions in Virginia, nor is there evidence of mass abductions occurring in Virginia. See, to me, it feels like right there they started out with a straw man because nobody's saying that, but we're saying there's a problem there and we want to get to the bottom of it. But let's move on. Virginia State Police oversees the Virginia Missing Children Clearinghouse, MCC, in addition to the alert program for the COD, and Amber Alerts are relevant here. The current list of missing children in Virginia is located here. Missing posters, search results. But I use the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Um, if we can get me out of there, producer, so I can just read this down or whatever. Okay. Virginia has reported more missing children than other states in the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids. That's the one I go to. Website. This is because Virginia State Police forwards every missing child case, MCMEC, according to them. Virginia is the most proactive in sending cases to their website. Virginia does this to centralize missing children's cases so they can all be reviewed in one location. Many other clearinghouses post their causes to their own website. In Virginia, the MCC uses MCMEC as the clearinghouse site. Nearly all missing children are investigated at the local level. When a child under the age of 21 goes missing, investigating agencies have 2 hours to report it to Virginia State Police. If the agency believes it rises to the level of a COD or Amber Alert, the agency makes a request. The criteria for those alerts are below. Uh, Criteria for activation of CODI alert. Each time law enforcement agency shall investigate the matter to verify the disappearance, eliminate alternative explanations where evidence is lacking. Information must be established to meet the definition of a missing or endangered child. Also, sufficient information must be available to dissemble to the public to assist in locating the missing child, to include vehicle if there is one. In order to activate the alert, elements for missing or endangered child is number one, any person 17 years of age or younger, or is currently enrolled in a secondary school in the Commonwealth. Second, the child's whereabouts are unknown. Third, the child's disappearance is under suspicious circumstances or poses a credible threat as determined by law enforcement to the safety and health of their child, based on any other circumstances as deemed appropriate by the Virginia State Police. Criteria for activation of Amber Alert plan. Okay, I think we kind of get the idea of the Amber Alert stuff. Like, can we move down a little bit? We I think we're all pretty familiar with how Amber Alerts work, and they're pretty straightforward and honest here in saying that they report everything and they use that as the database. So, perhaps some of the states aren't reporting as much. But again, I take no comfort in this. Last week, August 3rd through 9th, 2025, 88 children were reported missing to the MCC. The 2025 average of missing children in Virginia is 98. Now, mind you, that's August 9th of 2025. Okay. Now, we just had another rash of them, which I'm going to go through with you. That I'll go back to the end of August anyway. Since January 2025 to current, a total of 3,274 children have been reported missing to the MCC. Of these, 141 as of 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, are still missing, or approximately 4%. Virginia State Police has issued a total of 25 CODI alerts in 2025 to date. All were found. This includes a CODI alert Monday morning, August 11th, 2025, that was issued from Manassas Park, which was also canceled Monday morning after the subject was found safe. Virginia State Police issued a total of 2 Amber Alerts in 2025 to date, all found. So listen, let's give them some credit for this. I'm not saying they're not trying. And again, some of these are situations that, are beyond the parent's control in the sense that they run off with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or their friends, whatever. And some of them, get involved in drugs. But a lot of them, I think, fall victim to trafficking because some of the people that I've met in my duties as a reverend came into the drug world by trafficking. They ran away from home. And no, not all of them have a tragic backstory of home. Some do, but a lot of them don't. And what generally happens is they get involved in this world because it's fast money, lots of parties. Everyone seems like your friend in the beginning. And then you begin to realize the horrors that you've allowed yourself into. So we'll get back to that in a minute. Virginia State Police officers offers the following safety tips to help keep children safe. Okay, well, I think if you're listening to this program, you're already a person who knows this stuff forward and backward. So now I want to get to the missing kids that I have on the list here. For this, I have to share my screen. Okay, here we go. Now, this is since October 3rd, so let's just run off of that. Christian Bishop, missing since October 3rd, 2025, missing from Chesterfield County, Virginia. He's age 16. Sienna Williams, missing since October 2nd, 2025, missing from Spotsylvania County, Virginia, now 16. Rosalind Cruz Torres, missing from Fairfax County, Virginia, now age 14. Aiden Gray, missing since October 2nd, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age 15. Kobe Browning, missing since October 2nd, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, now age 16. Genesis Reyes Valderrama, missing since October 2nd, 2025, missing from Frederick County, Virginia, age now 16. Emily Bank, I believe, missing since October 1st, 2025, missing from Manassas, Virginia, now age 14. Michaela Adams, missing since October 1st, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age now 16. Marissa Canfield, missing since October 1st, 2025, missing from Fairfax County, Virginia, age 15. Roger Villagram Lee, or Lie, missing since October 1st, 2025, missing from Fairfax County, Virginia, age now 16. Jalen Wallace, missing since October 1st, 2025, missing from Hampton, Virginia, now age 16. Gina Whiteacre, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Chesapeake, Virginia, now age 17. London Polly, missing since September 30th, missing from Lynchburg, Virginia, now age 15. Urethra Aracena, missing since September 30th, 2025, from Norfolk, age 15. Ariana Moore, missing since September 20th, 2025, missing from Norfolk, Virginia, age 17. Jackree Holmes, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age 15. Raymel Piggott, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age 15. Haley Andrelji, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Portsmouth, Virginia. Caden Cook, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Chesapeake, Virginia, 17. Jamari Jackson, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Henrico County, Virginia, age 15. Now we're on to page 2. I'm Kobe Browning was already mentioned, and he's actually been missing since September 29th. That's why I was surprised to see him there again on the 2nd. There must have been an independent report on that. Isabella Holland, and I always wonder why they don't have any kind of picture available of these kids. I mean, we live in the selfie age. There must be a picture somewhere, but again, it's not mine to question. Aisha Holland, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Richmond, Virginia. All right, I've already read off Zion Harris, missing since September 30th, 2025, missing from Richmond City, Virginia, age now 14. I've already rattled off 22, all right, and we're only to September 29th from October 3rd. If you don't think this is a problem, then there is a problem there. Jayana Mumford, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Chesapeake, Virginia, now age 14. Philip Kukanoff, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Rockingham County, Virginia, age 17. Michaela Spencer, missing since September 29th, 2025, missing from Chesapeake, Virginia, age 16. Isabella Sibadi, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Chesapeake, Virginia, age 16. Ayala Burt, I hope I said that right, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Portsmouth, Virginia, age 14. These kids we should definitely have pictures of. But how are we going to spot them? How are we going to know? Neil McCoy, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Richmond, Virginia, age 13. Jocelyn De La Rosa, missing since September 29, 2025, missing from Henrico, Virginia, age 14. Kieran Alexander, missing since September 28, 2025, missing from Fairfax County, Virginia, age 16. Malikai Jackson. I hope I said it right. I apologize if I'm slaughtering these names, but I am concerned about these kids, so I'm doing the best I can to get the word out. Missing since September 28, 2025, missing from Richmond City, Virginia, now age 15. Miguel Urbina, missing since September 27, 2025, missing from Prince Williams County, Virginia, age 15. Mackenzie Williams, missing since September 27, 2025, missing from Hampton, Virginia, age 15. Darshell McAllister, missing since September 27, 2025, Alexandria, Virginia, age 15. Grace Conlon, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age now 15. Jaden Fry, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Petersburg, Virginia, age 15. Safiya Butts, I hope I said that right, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age now 14. Jadai Harvey, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Brunswick, Virginia, age 17. Leah Troon, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Fairfax County. Her age is 17. Remember, these are kids that still live at home or attend school. So we're not talking full grown adults even when they're 17. Cheyenne Hardy, missing since September 26, 2025, missing from Henrico, Virginia, age 15. Ronald Linares, missing since September 25, 2025, missing from Roanoke, Virginia. Yesenia Riveras Espinoza, missing since September 25, 2025, missing from Fairfax County, Virginia, age now 15. Serenity O'Donnell, missing since September 25, 2025, missing from Portsmouth, Virginia, age 15. Jakira Henderson, missing since September 24th, 2025, missing from Roanoke, Virginia, age 17. Samuel Taylor, missing since September 24th, 2025, missing from Waynesboro, Virginia, age 17. Michael Donaldson, missing since September 23rd, 2025, missing from Spotsylvania County, Virginia, age 14. Jadavian Davis, missing since September 23rd, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age now 15. Vanessiah Ryland, I hope I said that right. Vanessiah, yeah, I believe. Vanessiah Ryland, missing since September 23rd, 2025, from Newport News, Virginia, age now 17. Navia Carey, missing since September 22nd, 2025, missing from Lynchburg, Virginia, age 14. Natalie Sedilio, missing since September 22nd, 2025, missing from Henrico County, Virginia, age now 14. Angelica Abdullah, missing since September 21st, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age now 17. Ali Reddish, missing since September 20th, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age 13. Tyree Harris, missing since September 20, 2025, missing from Portsmouth, Virginia, age now 14. Joseph Kemp, missing since September 19, 2025, missing from Botentort County, Virginia, age now 15. Excuse me, I had to wet the whistle. Jesse Robertson, missing since September 19, 2025, from Roanoke City, Virginia, age now 17. Aurora Hilton, missing since September 19, 2025, missing from Stafford County, Virginia, age 12. Jamara Monroe, missing since September 19, 2025, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age now 16. Josiah Kelly, missing since September 19, 2025, missing from Prince George, Virginia, age 17. Michaela McDuffie, missing since September 19, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age now 16. See how long this is taking? This is only since October 1st. Nevaeh Bivens, missing since September 18, 2025, missing from Henrico County, Virginia, age 17. Breon Boyce Jr., missing since September 17, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age 15. Gabby Iguari Equedas. I'm sorry, I know I'm slaughtering that name. Gabby Izagare Equidas, I believe. Missing since September 16, 2025, missing from Arlington County, Virginia, age 15. I apologize if it seems disrespectful. Just some names I can't get right. I wish I had heard them first. Marlene Gnarly, missing since September 14, 2025, missing from Portsmouth, Virginia, age now 16. Sanaya Saunders, missing since September 12, 2025, missing from Hampton, Virginia, age now 17. Same girl. DeMonte Coley, missing since September 10, 2025, missing from Norfolk, Virginia, age now 15. Kiana Bland, missing since September 9th, 2025, missing from Henrico County, Virginia, age 16. Deshauna King, missing since September 8th, 2025, missing from Newport News, Virginia, age now 16. Preston Young, missing since September 6th, 2025, missing from Roanoke City, Virginia, age now 16. Aiden Davison, missing since September 25, missing from Virginia Beach, Virginia, age now 17. Ashlyn Arnold, missing since September 4th, 2025, missing from Suffolk, Virginia, age now 16. Ashlyn Arnold, missing since September 4th, 2025, missing from Suffolk, Virginia, age 16. Zayani Smith, missing since September 4th, 2025, missing from North Dwindle, Dwighty, Dinwiddie. I don't know. Dinwiddie, Virginia, age 17. Zayani Smith, missing since September 4th, 2025, missing from, oh, I just did her, right? So that's another duplicate. Dinwiddie County, Virginia. Michelle Mabry Bishop, missing since September 3rd, 2025, missing from Richmond, Virginia, or missing from Richmond City, Virginia, age 16. Zoe Robertson, missing since August 30th, 2025, missing from Concord, Virginia, age 17. Anthony Worth, missing since August 30, 2025, missing from Appomattox County, Virginia, age now 17. Zoe Robinson, missing since August 30th, 2025, missing from Appomattox County, Virginia, age 17. Anthony Worth, missing since August 29, 2025, missing from Appomattox, Virginia, age now 17. So you get the idea here. If my okay, here we go. Here I am. So that was a lot of reading, and I'm sorry for the names that I butchered, but I really think that someone needs to get the word out about how many missing children there are. And again, I know some of it is domestically related. Some of it is other relatives, in a domestic situation related, going off with the sister or the brother. Some of them go off with boyfriends and girlfriends. Some of them, like I said, get involved with people that get them into sex trafficking. But no matter what, there is a problem there. No, I don't think it's one guy riding around in a nice white van somewhere, luring kids in with cookies. All right. I get it. But it does seem like from the amount of, uh, certain places that were like Newport News City, those kind of places, maybe there are networks where this kind of thing is happening, where they have people out there recruiting. And maybe, yes, they are individually looking for the children, the state troopers, and they're doing their best. I'm not knocking them in any way, shape, or form. I'm a big fan of law enforcement. Okay. But at the same time, maybe they're not looking for them the right way. I mean, my opinion could be anything from cartels involved here. Um, it could be, people that are just small time dealers in like smaller pimp networks that are trafficking these kids, loading them up with drugs, and trafficking them out there to other people. I'd like to know what happened to these kids. I am not saying any one thing in particular happened to anybody. I don't know. What I do know is that that's an awful lot of kids to be missing in just a little over a month. I read down to the 30th, so a day or two over a month, but there were a few repetitive ones. So, you still see that we're talking about roughly 60 kids in a month. Something has to be done about this. Now, one thing that really, really frightens me about all this is that you may elect Abigail Scamberger as your governor in Virginia, and I guarantee you're never going to get any answers under her. We need, to elect Winsome Sears. I mean, this is your hope right now, Virginia. Okay, I admit I have problems with her. I didn't like how she turned on Trump. Okay, but this is crunch time. This is something so critical. I can put aside all my differences about this woman because I know that if she's not the savior of the state, at least she is going to slow down the steady digression of the state. So she has a real chance of winning here, and she's turning the polls around, and she's the current lieutenant governor. And I think that she's a little more tapped into this. I mean, she's from Jamaica, which, if you're familiar with Jamaica, which I am, this is a woman who's probably at least had family who's dealt with rude boys and shadas and whatever else. There are a lot of white gangs too, a few white power gangs that operate like gangs. They sell drugs. They do, they're not just running around looking for heads to stomp. So this is a woman that I would trust a lot more with, and I know she is the current lieutenant governor, and I want someone to ask her about this, but I would trust her a lot more than I would trust Spamberger, who's going to let everything become a sanctuary city, going to let everything stay a sanctuary city, going to prevent ICE from getting in there and doing anything in the first place. Okay. And I'm not just saying all this for an election, like for an election thing. Okay. Because again, some of this is on her. She's the lieutenant governor right now. But I can tell you that Abigail Spamberger, okay, is far worse and far more in deep with leftists. And we know damn well that no matter what's happening to these kids, it's probably not a vast right wing conspiracy under any circumstance. Okay. It would lean more towards people that would lean to the left. Although I wouldn't even put them in that category. I think it leans towards criminals, thugs, people with self interest in using these kids for whatever they want to use them for. Okay. But I'm not going to let go of this because I've also noticed the Texas and Oklahoma area have an insane number of missing kids. And I'm going to try and compile that as the week goes on. I'm going to do these as content pieces so I don't eat up so much showtime reading names and all that other stuff. You can do that, you know, you can watch it in a more leisurely situation. But this concerns me so much. I wanted to draw attention to it. And I really thank the people on Rumble who have been checking in with me lately because this is a very important time in our country's history. This is where we determine whether we are going to become a fallen leftist state like England or France or to a lesser extent Italy, or we're going to become the one power in the world that leads us out of this morass of leftist thinking. So I just want to get that point across. And again, we have to find out what is going on. And we can't, just sit back and say, well, oh, this is a real problem and all that. No, we got to do something. We got to start asking some questions. Do you know somebody in media? Do you know somebody with a big platform? Are you a good donor to that person? Can you maybe, work in? Believe me, if I didn't live on a fixed income, I'd do it. I used to. Um, if can you hork in like a $50 to ask somebody like, what's going on there? Will you look into this? Because you need a much bigger voice than mine to be able to really disseminate what's going on there. And you need to get somebody who will stimulate the autists into doing their jobs, which they do very well in getting the information. But in the meantime, I'm telling you, Abigail Scamberger, as far as I'm concerned, is not right for Virginia. We need Winsome Sears right now. Again, I am not 100% happy with her stance on Trump, but I also know that she'll have a better relationship with Trump than she had previously. So let's cut her a break. Let's start supporting her any way that we can. Get out some vote for her, drop a couple of bucks in the bucket, whatever it takes, because she's up against a monolith and a Democrat machine. And right now, she's the last best hope. And once she's in there, let's start holding her accountable for all these missing kids. Let's start asking questions because I guarantee you turn up the heat enough and she will do something about it. At the very least, pay it lip service, and then we'll know who she is for real or not. Now, I know that since we're on the subject of elections, I'm very concerned about New Jersey. I'm very happy with how we've been doing, and I very much want Jack Citarelli to become our governor. All right. Again, this is a guy who, gave us problems during the Trump administration, while Trump was running. But I've also seen this with I believe in Citarelli's case, it's even different than Winsome Sears in that in Citarelli's case, I see him as more like a Marco Rubio type who has actually seen the light a little bit as to what's going on and how, because he was always afraid to really dig into the subject of sanctuary cities. He's not anymore. He's digging in tough. And let me tell you, New Jersey could use him because we want ICE to go in there and we want them to get the illegals out. Legal aliens are one thing. Look, I married a woman years ago. We are no longer together. Uh, she's the mother of my child, though. She was an Irish national, and it cost me thousands upon thousands of dollars, even back then. You know, actually, we're going back like 30 years almost. It cost me thousands upon thousands of dollars to get her naturalized as a citizen here, even being married to me. So why do these people get to jump the queue? What about all these people that have worked so hard all their lives in whatever country they came from and paid whatever money they've had to pay to become naturalized citizens the correct way? What about them? These people don't just get to jump in front of them in the queue. They have rights too. And they have the right that, they shouldn't have to pay for what somebody else is getting for free. So next time, an Antifa person wants to talk to you about something like that, tell them that and ask them to explain that. Of course, you won't be able to because they break off cognitively when faced with facts. They'll probably just swing at you. So have your hands up when you say it. Anyway, I'm getting out of the elections business because I'm worried about Mickey Sherrill running. I'm worried about Mickey Sherrill winning because right now it looks like Moron Mondami in New York is going to take the winner takes all sweepstakes against Cuomo and Curtis. And so I want a wall between us and New York City because what he has planned for over there, I don't want us to even be a part of. I want a wall between us. Now, in this case, it's not a big, beautiful wall like Trump built, but it's a Republican wall against Democrat policies creeping over because you know how they have that mission creep. Okay. New York will have to face its own conscience once they do this. I'm sure they'll still make excuses and act like nothing was ever wrong and he was just fantastic, even as the city burns behind them, like the mostly peaceful protests you see on CNN. But that's my opinion. So please, we got to get behind these Republicans now. All right. Winsome Earl Sears. Another thing I wanted to mention too, there's a person running for district attorney in Virginia. His name is Jay Jones, I believe. And he wants to run for not, is it district attorney? Yeah, he's district attorney, I believe. Um, he has no problem with people on the right's children being killed. And he said so in a text out loud and laughs about it. So if this is the future that you want for yourself, then, what happens next is going to be on you because at some point, patriots aren't going to take it anymore and they're going to stand up. And we don't want that to happen. We want to win this where we need to win this in the ballot box. Because again, remember, when we elect officials, okay, this is under God's law to us. Romans 13:4, for he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Amen. And I want to thank all the Johnny come latelys who've adapted that verse all of a sudden. Reading it out of NIV Bibles and everything. Now, it's King James for me. If you don't read King James, then the Strong's Concordance does nothing for you, and you can't go back to the manuscripts and get the proper translations. So I'm sorry. That's why it's KJV all the way or nothing for me. Okay, next topic I got to move on to because my content person is clinging in my ear and I really wish she would stop. All right. There's a few people that I feel like we have sort of forgotten about. Now, I know that there is an online presence about uh, Tina Peters. Okay. And I should have put a picture up with this, but Tina Peters, told the truth about elections and got locked up in prison for telling the truth. Now, there are some other charges associated with it, but there was nothing that rises to the level of the sentence that she is currently facing. We cannot forget Tina Peters. We got to make her name known out there and keep it flowing because there has to be some way to help this woman out. This is ridiculous. It's pathetic. And it's pathetic of us not to be showing out our best. Another person that I don't want us to forget, and you can call me whatever you want, but I'm backing the Proud Boys here. You're absolutely right. Let's not forget about great patriot who suffered the same injustice from free Tiny Tusi. Tiny, I just know him by Tiny. I didn't even know his last name is Tusi. Is currently serving an 8-year sentence in Oregon prison for defending himself against an Antifa attack. Please spread the word and let people know about his case. He's already done a few years and he deserves to be released. He's a young kid with his whole life ahead of him. By the way, I want you to take a look at that because that's what the left's calling a white supremacist. Okay, this awful white supremacist right here. Mr. Andy, no, we need your help to bring attention to our friend who was arrested and prosecuted for political reasons. Like, repost, and share. Make your own posts calling for the release of Tiny Tutualala Tusi. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. But look, this guy's languishing away in jail because a bunch of Antifa tried to get tough with him and he took a swing back. We saw this all this week. My producer and I are up in the wee hours of the morning checking in with each other periodically about different shots from what's going on in Oregon. Now, we know Chicago's going on too, but right now we're very interested in the events in Portland because I really think that that is, if we break Portland, I think we can start to get a foothold on Antifa and pushing them back. But right now, we're kind of still in that half measures. Okay, things are happening. They threw some tear gas yesterday. They've been arresting some people. Thankfully, and for the sake of my producer's sanity, they arrested the bullhorn girl, which is fantastic. I also want to commend Tommy Boy. He was wearing the Charlie Kirk shirt, number 31, when he decked an Antifa guy who was bigger than him, who was, trying to intimidate, started a fight with him, and he effed around and he found out. F meaning fooled around and found out. I know I'm a reverend. I'd like to say other things, but I have promised God I will restrain my tongue. So he fooled around and found out, and he got knocked on his rear end, and it was an absolute joy to watch. And I do not approve of violence. I don't think violence for violence sake is any good. But if somebody is going to attack you, and especially when they're larger than you, okay, and this guy's pretty big too. So I mean, you're talking about a big guy fight. Those things can be scary. He put that guy on the ground. I saw it with the first hit. He hit him kind of across the jaw, and you could see that the guy had a glass jaw, but he just didn't get enough steam on that first shot. Then on that other shot, he was already going down, but he gave him the extra shove just to make sure it hurt. And I love that. That was fantastic. Tommy Boy, I love you, man. Keep up the good work, but don't get in any fights unless you have to. All right, unless they're attacking you. Again, I'm sorry that we have to take this posture. We can't give them any fuel for the fire. And we have to start taking our fallen heroes here. And I don't mean fallen in the way of death, but I mean fallen in the way of prison, and we have to start fighting for them. We have to fight for Tina Peters, and we definitely have to fight for Tiny. Okay. The Proud Boys used to be a strong enforcement arm that stood up against Antifa. That's why they went so hard on them. Now I know there are some issues within the Proud Boys, and some of those need to be worked out. But let me tell you, if there's a Proud Boys chapter near me, I would be more than happy to be your chaplain. And I'll take the punches and rattle off as many serial names as you want. Okay. Because this is the time now where people have to stand up. We watched in Portland this week as Katie Davis Court was hit in the face with a flagpole. She has a black eye this big, and the police did nothing about it. She pointed out the attacker, brought the policeman over, and the guy did nothing, just let her walk away. Okay. The soy police in Portland are useless. And I think that there is some kind of intermingling between them and the Antifa people. I cannot prove that. That is my own opinion. But if you watch how they act and how they treat an Antifa person versus a right winger, like when they arrested Nick Sorter, then you'll see it. And you can also see Honey Badger Mom. They sent her a button today with some Antifa person throwing a punch and with her name on it, and her being knocked out of her shoes flying up in the air. All right. This is the kind of scumbags they are. Look, I don't mind people protesting anything. That is our God given right as Americans. But when you protest to the point where, you're harming people, you're destroying the quality of life, I can't even imagine what it's like to live around that ICE facility in Portland. I was getting a headache just listening to the live feeds, and I was listening to 2 and 3 at a time, trying to look in on Chicago, looking at, and everywhere else. And I mean, I can honestly say that it is up to, at this point, I think the government has to intervene here because it's obvious the police will not protect their own citizens. If they take an oath to serve and protect, they have to serve and protect. And I know that they don't have to protect you in a one-on-one situation. I get that. But I also know that they have to serve the community and protect the community, and they have to eliminate threats from the community. And these Antifa building up there, they are a threat. It has to be stopped. So let's not forget about Tina Peters. Let's not forget about Tiny, and let's not forget about Irina Gutowski. I'm sorry, the woman who got stabbed in North Carolina on the train, and her attacker is basically lounging out in what they call a sanity restorative thing. So they're restoring him to competence at this point. But let's not let him do this for too long. And the judge that ordered that,
You are a heathen. That's what you are, a heathen.
exactly. Thank you, Ann Esther. I love you for that. Now, I want to get on this Trump thing too with the sending troops. Okay, we keep getting cut off at every turn. They have judges cutting us off. They had the governor of of uh, Portland. Sorry, Oregon, um, cut off the ability for Trump to access National Guard troops. So he's trying to send 300 over from California, which Newsom is up in arms about. And someone has to explain to me why he can get them from there, but he can't get them from the other one. I don't know. I didn't bother to look into it. But at the same time, at this point now, Mr. Trump, it's time to put up, man. All right. They've laid down the gauntlet. They're showing you who they are. When they tell you who they are, believe them. But when they show you who they are, do something about it.
Don't you worry, never fear. Robin Hood will soon be here.
Now, when are we gonna have, Errol Flynn come swinging in off the vine and start taking control of the situation like in the cartoon? All right. This is not something that we need to be allowing. Another subject that I want to bring up really quick um, is the people. I want to go into entertainment news here. People that went to Saudi Arabia, the comedians. Okay, from now on, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and the bunch of other Louis C.K., all these other people, they have no right to talk about anything wrong with America anymore because they took the Saudi check. They performed for a class of people who own slaves still to this day. Did you know that? Yes, it's absolutely true. They actively seek out actively trade and acquire slaves to this day. And I don't know where's the groundswell, where's the uproar, where's the Palestinian protesters, where's the left on this. I thought we didn't like slavery and stuff like that. Well, the left is giving them a little bit of heat because they loved Khashoggi, who was related to an arms dealer and about as sleazy as they come. But it was unfair that he died in an embassy, and which allegedly, because we don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure that he's in some lost luggage somewhere out at sea by now. So I find that disgusting. Any of them that want to talk crap to me, like if Dave Chappelle wants to get up and talk about the trans mafia anymore, well, I'm sorry, you just played for the Saudi mafia. How does it feel? Okay. And again, I don't really have a beef with Saudi Arabia, and in the sense that I don't want us to get too involved with them. As involved as we have to be to maintain peace in that region, fine. Whatever diplomatic relations we have, fine. But at the same time, let us not pretend that they are, this sinless, wonderful people who, don't do all these horrible, horrible things. Another thing in entertainment news, which really, really irked me this week, was all of a sudden everybody's discovered that Netflix has grooming material on there. While me and the tens of thousands who are like me and who quit Netflix during the cuties craze were like, oh, well, now you've suddenly discovered us. Now it's a big deal. Now, all of a sudden, you're finding all the stuff. Some of that stuff we found before you, and you're only reiterating the stuff that we have now, or we had then. So don't come at me with your high pious nonsense, all right, and tell me that you're so virtuous now because you've now suddenly blocked Netflix. And I want to get into another thing too. This is really going to turn the buttons off for me over here. In We had the Cracker Barrel thing, right? What was the Cracker Barrel thing about? Well, it was about the change in the logo, but it was also about the change in the company's philosophy and how they were doing all this with the, LGBTQ community and whatnot. And they are, that, this isn't Americana. Okay, well, that's fine. And you guys did a good job, I guess. It looks like Cracker Barrel's just still going to go down the tubes, and they still haven't gotten rid of the CEO, so it's time for her to go. But okay, whatever. You got your chops up for that, right? Well, if any of you right now are watching organized sports like baseball, football, and basketball, they contribute far more to all of those causes than Cracker Barrel ever did. And they sometimes wear the proper flags and attire on their jerseys and whatnot. So when you talk to me about how conservative and how tough you are and how pro-America you are, you're still watching that stuff, you're contributing to this stuff happening. You're making those organizations stronger because the more money you contribute to the people feeding them, the more they have to give. And they don't mind giving. Look what they tried to do to hockey a few years ago. At least the hockey people stood up, and hockey still is involved with the community, just not to the extent that baseball, basketball, and football are. So again, if you're going to tell me how pro-American you are, and then, oh, it's a tradition of my family. My dad and I went to the games. Well, your dad probably would be pretty damn upset about how things have changed now and about what they're giving money to. And I'm pretty sure if they had done that back in your dad's day or your mom's day or anybody else, okay, they would have boycotted that stuff so fast, it would have made your head spin. So don't come at me with the sentimental thing and all your memories of the park and the field and all that other stuff, because you are only contributing to the movement at this point. And yeah, I can see those numbers just jumping right off as I say that, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. I'll take that because I'm not going to be a hypocrite, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it's okay for them to do that. And, it's not okay. It's not okay for Cracker Barrel. It's not okay for Cracker Barrel, and it's not okay for them. We need to get sports out of politics altogether and make it sports again. There used to be a time when the Olympics wasn't involving sports. Then we started having those boycotts, and the next thing you knew, the Olympics was all politics. Before you knew it, professional people were taking opportunities away from regular folks and winning gold medals on top of their millions of dollars in their various championships. It's disgusting. Okay, so until we return sports to a more pure form, none of you people that are advertising what the game did this week or what that one's stats are this week and all that other stuff, I'm sorry. You don't impress me. You do you. I don't hate you for doing it. It's your thing. But again, you've tarnished your ability to talk to me about how I do my thing. Just with that. So we'll keep that in mind. And another thing that bothered me, like I was bringing that up about the Olympics, is how all these professional athletes suddenly, like the tennis players and the basketball players, started taking medals away from, or at least the opportunity to earn a medal away from regular people. Well, here's another whole group, okay, that relishes in this type of behavior, and they revere in it. Okay, they love doing this. The trans community competing with women, and there are a whole lot of enablers out there who are more ready and willing to do this, to allow this to continue. And I mean, I thought maybe we were starting to beat this back with the coming of Trump, but it doesn't seem like we are. It seems like now it's starting to take hold again. And you got, again, Abigail Scamberger from Virginia there. She won't even talk about men in a women's locker room. All right, look, first off, the trans agenda runs too far and too wide. All right. They want our kids, they want to dictate how we are supposed to call them by their pronouns and this and that. And they get all mad about that. And people are saying that's a dying issue, but I live in Jersey. I see it a lot. So if it's a dying issue, uh, you got me as to when it died. So, you know, their agenda is more than frightening, and their agenda led to Charlie Kirk's death. I don't care what the conspiracy theories are saying. I'm not buying the FBI line. I'm not buying a lot of other things that were thrown out there. Okay. But at the same time, I am not diminishing the fact that the person who killed him, the scumbag who killed him, who shall remain nameless, and his little trans furry friend, boyfriend, you're not going to get me to call that a woman, were at least involved in. Now, if she's now I'm calling it she. If he was involved, the boyfriend was involved, we don't know that yet. But we do know about a Discord. And one thing I know from playing esports, there are a lot of Discords out there. That's a lot of things get said, and a lot of people get pulled aside into other smaller Discords where they discuss all kinds of nefarious and nasty stuff. And maybe one of these days I'll share one with you, but I have to find out what the legalities are on all that before I do. So uh, give me a couple of weeks and we'll get back to that. Now, to accent this point, Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. See, that's what they're trying to do to our kids. Sweet for bitter, bitterness for sweet. We want our kids to be what they were intended to be. Sweet kids, let them grow up as children, okay, and let them learn life's lessons the way all the other generations before them learned, when it was time, the proper time for the proper discussions. And let's also, parents, let's get back into parenting. And I don't just mean spending time with your kid. That's fantastic. I love you for it. God loves you for it. It's obedience to God to be that type of parent. But what worries me is that you're not watching your school districts. You're not watching the curriculum that your child is given. You had a 12-year-old girl who was kind of coerced, tricked, they say, into going to a gender club as a school event or an after school event. And the girl's on the verge of suicide now. So let's get a grip on this. And the only way that we're going to do it is if we put Republicans in office, because at the very least, we have a platform from which to fight. If we put Democrats in office, we go there to do something or say something or, talk about what's going on. We're going to get arrested. We're going to get censored. We're going to get thrown out. We might even get shot. Who knows? Okay. So the more power we have, the more our ability to assert that power we will have. So please, let's Citarelli. Let's not forget Jack Citarelli. Let's not forget Winston Earl Sears. Let's not forget that we have the Mandami menace building in New York right now. And honestly, I don't see any way of it stopping, because even if you combined Curtis Lewa's votes with Cuomo's votes, you still don't have enough. It's not a big enough pluralism for either one of those two to win. Mandami has the core. So I'm not saying it's inevitable. I'm saying fight, fight, fight if that's what you're going to do. But at the same time, prep, 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 because New York is about to face the greatest crisis in its history since 9/11. And I kid you not. If you thought the Dinkins years were bad, if you thought, you know, Ed Koch, let's give him a half and half, because he actually wasn't a bad mayor. His administration was a little bit mixed up and messed around a little bit, but he was a fair and decent guy, and he understood business. So let's not forget that. Mandami wants to destroy business, wants to buy up land, make it owned by the city, and move people into it. You want to move into that land? Do you want to be near that land? Do you want that built around you or near you? Well, then keep going the way you're going. If you don't stop Mandami, then that's it. All right. Firstly, I want to thank the people on Rumble. You have been fantastic to me over the last few weeks. I don't generally ask people to do stuff like this, but I need to get a few more subscribers so that I can wield a little bit more abilities here. Not power, definitely not. So I can wield a little more abilities on Rumble. So please help me out if you can. Tell somebody about the channel. Join up. You know, we try to have fun here. We try to talk about the Bible a little bit. Some weeks are a little more serious than others, but we love and care about our kids, and we fight for them. So let's not forget that. Now, before I close out the show, I also want to thank the people on Getter. I have noticed that it's diminishing returns these days on Getter, but I'm willing to take that hit, because the people that are with me now are with me all the way, and I appreciate you. And like I said, I appreciate you people on Rumble. I really, really do, because this is all I've got now. I can't get out anymore. I can't preach the way that I used to with people, and I can't spend as much time with people as I did before. So this is really my only outlet, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for pushing me in this direction and giving me the ability to do this despite a number of health problems that I'm fighting. Okay, to close out the show tonight, we are. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, goes back to Portland. Chandler Hattie was the radical leftist using his apartment at the Maltese near the ICE facility as Antifa safe house for the riots. He denies breaking any leasing. Well, maybe he does, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But we do know that they also have another residence there, or it may be the same one. I do not know, but they have a little sanctuary that's very close to the ICE facility. So I believe that's where the person who hit Katie Davis Court with the flag is. Oh yeah, you'll find the link in the description. So you can check that out a little bit more, and you can probably find out a little bit more. But I don't want to be responsible for that. But I do want to thank some people that make America great every week. And right here, Chimney Rock, North Carolina officials have confirmed that local hero Jake Jarvis has restored an astonishing 300 homes completely for free. He has never taken a penny from a single survivor and hasn't taken an income for himself in over a year. This man is an absolute hero. After the floods there were so many people destroyed. You had people like Jake Jarvis pitching in. You had people like the Amish building tiny houses for people. It was a fantastic outpouring of the love of God and the American spirit. And I can't thank him enough. And I really wish that there were more people like this that weren't just in it for the money and were in it to really help their fellow man. So again, let's give a salute to Jake and wish him the best and pray for blessings to be upon him. Now, another fellow that I've brought up on the show before and is very important to me is Rodney Smith. Now, Rodney Smith has a goal. He would like to do something. So he's asked in a letter, Dear White House, I know this is a kind shot, but my name is Rodney Smith Jr. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm currently traveling to 50 states, mowing lawns for veterans, active duty service members, Gold Star families, and widows. I'm also sharing their stories. By the way, get on his Facebook account. These stories are fantastic. Even if you just follow him on Twitter, plenty of those stories come out. You will hear inspiring tales of real American heroes and how they contributed to our country and how this man, with his appreciation, is serving. But let's move on. As founder of a nonprofit with 6,000 plus kids mowing free lawns for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans nationwide, I'd be honored to bring my USA flag mower to mow the Arlington National Cemetery where veterans rest. I'm currently in the New England area, heading down the East Coast before Florida, then Alaska. Thank you for your consideration, Rodney. Look, if you can get on the horn, you can get anybody to, push on Rodney a little bit here, to push Rodney a little bit. So not push Rodney himself, but push Rodney to the president's ear. Let's do that because this is a fine human being. You ought to see his lawn service called Growing Men and Women Lawn Service. Okay. If you take the 50-yard challenge, and a lot of it is again for elderly and veterans and people who can't do it themselves and people who contributed to this country and now need a little bit of love from us back. And they deserve that love. And it's teaching kids to do this. Okay. So if you can help push him towards the president a little bit, anybody out there got a little influence, please do that. This is one of the most decent people in America right now. He chose his field, he does it well, and he brings other people into it. And he doesn't just make it like the old chore of lawn mowing. He turns it into something that's good, something that in its own way is very, very inspiring. So I don't want us to forget Rod. And let's not forget my hero. I don't see DJ here, producer. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. I was doing voice acting this week. It took a pounding. Oh, I'm sorry. I did see it. Okay. Okay, so DJ Daniel. Now, let's not forget that his father, Theodis Daniel, is running for Congress in Texas's 18th district. Sorry, last week I was all scrambled eggs with the information and I didn't want to say it wrong, so I was rather vague. All right. This week I know my stuff. Okay. I can't think of a more model person. He's a veteran. He has experienced tragedy in the fact that his mother was gunned down, and he has raised one of the most wonderful young human beings on the planet, in my opinion, DJ Daniel, who faces brain tumors and can't help but try to reach out and make other people feel better. Okay. This is the type of thing that we have to encourage. So if you know anybody in near Texas 18, go for it. All right. Make some calls, drop some money in the bucket. Okay. And always pray for DJ and his father because we love them to death and we appreciate them and they inspire us. And we have to be able to give to what inspires us. See, there we go. Yeah, that's adorable. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm gonna have to call it a show here. Uh, I want you to pray for those kids in Virginia. Let's not forget what's going on over there. Okay, that's 60 kids in a month. All right. Again, I'm not blaming the police. I'm not hating on the police. I'm trying to assist the police. Okay. I tried to show every picture that I could. I tried to recite every name that I could so that if anybody sees them, they can run out and do something about it, call the police. follow that car, whatever it takes. Okay. But these kids have got to start returning home, and we have to find out what the problem is. So please, please, please pray for every one of those kids, because I know I am. I pray for the missing every day. And it's a very important part of my prayers, because it calms me before I get to my sins of the day, which generally upset me, and I'm pretty sure upset God too. So let's pray for those kids. Let's pray for our Republicans to step up here and win. We need Winsome Earl Sears in Virginia. We need Jack Citarelli in New Jersey. And if there's any way that we can stop Mandami in New York by waking these people up, if you saw the kind of savage this guy is, look around Twitter. You'll see plenty of footage of it. Okay. And when I say savage, I mean that when he got angry, he had police holding him back. This guy wanted to rip through those cops to get to whoever he was yelling at about whatever he was yelling about. Okay. And it's not like a good anger. It is a visceral anger. It is a destructive anger. And you could see it on his face. So you know what he's going to hate. And again, in Virginia, remember, I think he's running for Attorney General. Jay Jones doesn't care if our children die. Literally says this to someone who says, I'm worried about you saying things like that. And, he has a good laugh. So let's also pray that these people can soften their hearts up and see reality. And that includes Antifa and everything, because obedience to God means praying for our enemies. Now, mind you, so one of them gets up in my grill, I'm going to do what I can. I'm an old guy now. I don't have that punching power like I did when I was young, but I'm sure going to let him know he was in a fight anyway. But most of those soy guys, I ain't too worried about. Anyway, pray for me. Your prayers for my health have really been working. I'm coming a long way, and I am most certainly praying for you. I'm praying for all America. I'm praying for the patriots to stay good and be blessed. And I am praying for our opposition to soften their hearts and to be pushed under our boot, to put our boot on their neck, and not in the literal sense, in the figurative sense, as you would understand from the Bible. It's time to put them to heel. And that's what we need to do now. Anyway, pray for me. I'm praying for you. I wish you all the grace and love of Jesus Christ in your week. Please include him every day in some way. Even if you don't read the Bible that day, pray. Pray, man. America has never needed more prayer than it does now. I believe that we can avert a whole lot by praying. And praying is showing love. If you worry about how much you have done to please God in your life, well, don't worry. Pray. Okay, you'll find other things, but the most important thing that you can do is pray for the land, pray for the people, pray for those that are downtrodden, and pray for those who keep them down. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Rumble people, Getter people, BitChute, everybody, thank you so much.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. I'll identify these people, who they are and what they're doing, because one of them gets a deadly wound. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. That's one that changes spots. That's your Kenite. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. That'll take in Roosh. And his mouth is the mouth of a lion, his tearing, and the dragon, who? Satan himself, the old dragon, gave him his power and his seat. What again does this word seat mean? Throne. The dragon himself gives the one world government its throne. That means its power. You might wonder, many people would say, well, how could all these nations from Tahiti, from Bahrain to Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Yemen, how could all of them at the same time rise up up. They got something in common, my friend. And we're talking about somebody that's going to give it a throne. Not just a seat, a throne. What happens then? Verse 3. And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Who healed that wound? Well, read the next verse. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? The one world government, you can't make war with that. Why? There's no government to go against it. It consumes the world, but not God's elect. This is where you got to understand, and this is why you got to have strong faith, is to know as long as God is with you, who can be against you? Nobody. As long as you are armed with the sword of the Lord, the truth, and you understand what's happening in the world, God protects you. You and He make a majority, and you can count on that. You can believe it.